Let's see. Is anyone here now? Analytics still seem to be off. If anyone is here, just type dot or hi or something so that I know that it's actually working. Very strange. Because I can see the... Oh, there, here we go. Nadia says hi. So, Nadia, I assume that you can see and hear what I'm saying. Did you hear what I said before, or was it just like nothing? Because my YouTube page looks strange. But if you missed it, whoever is here, the whole thing is that we don't want to deny or repress our feelings. That's what so many people do, because we feel that it's uncomfortable to feel all these feelings we have, so we kind of push them away instead of allowing them to come. Now, there is a point to be had. I missed it. Okay, you can look back at it later. It's interesting. It's not that we want to overwhelm ourselves, because sometimes there's so much stuff that comes up that we feel, okay, I can't take it, and then absolutely take a step back. But otherwise, a big part of it is just allowing ourselves to feel what we feel. When we feel really happy, hey Sue, nice to see you. When we feel really happy, it's like we're not allowing ourselves to feel that happiness. We want to do something with it. We feel happy, so I need to go and do something instead of just feeling what does happiness feel like. The same with anxiety and with bad feelings is that we tend to not let ourselves feel anxiety. So I, like Lorenzo was saying, I feel anxiety, and then he observes it, and then he becomes that anxiety, and it makes it worse. But that means that you have the perspective that I am here, and something out there is creating this pressure towards me, which I call anxiety. When you really look at that and see that you are the anxiety, the feeling of you resides in that anxiety. It's not that it comes from the outside, it actually is you. That will, or should at least, release part of that barrier that creates a different distance, and you can allow yourself to feel anxiety. Because when you do allow yourself to feel negative, hey Mindful Mama, nice to see you as well. When you do feel anxiety, we tend to just not feel it, but when you do let it come, it usually just goes away, because there's nothing there, because you are that anxiety. It's not that someone is sending bad energies to it. I mean, a lot of people believe that, but like, it's not like someone else is doing it to you. You are somehow creating this pressure in between, like I was talking about the standing wave. So we really try, hey, now the analytics is working as well. So I'm not sure what was off in the beginning, but it seems like it was working now. Okay, maybe actually it wasn't streaming. It might be something happened, so the first part seemed to have been missed. But I was answering Lorenzo's question. I'll just go over it again, because maybe it just wasn't happening before. He was asking, in one of the videos he asked, it's not that you are anxious, you are anxiety. And he was then saying, I'll try to connect with your phrase. So to explain a difficulty that I have found both on Gwenka and Mahasi retreat. On Gwenka, for example, a part of the mind feels the sensation, but another is aware of the mind, of the thoughts that slowly but continuously pop up. And yes, you see the rising and the falling of every single thought. Now, in Gwenka, we do a body scan. You go from the top to the bottom, and you scan the body up and down, and you feel any sensation. In Mahasi, you do notings. You do note, I have a thought, pressure, pain. And that's how you move around in the body. And he says that later on. But I found that you'll become the content of the thoughts. Same with Mahasi, thinking. But if the thinking is anxiety, you slowly become anxiety. So how not to lose a three-person viewpoint? And I was asking if Lorenzo is here. Hey, Mats. If Lorenzo is... Okay, see you, Mats. Sorry to see you go again. Nice you dropped in. Lorenzo was talking about the three-person viewpoint, and what he's talking about is that I feel I am here, this is anxiety, and there's the person giving me that anxiety, or the event, meaning there's basically two parts creating this thing in between them. And my whole way of approaching this, which just This is why it works so good with enjoying being here, because when you enjoy, you release that tension in between, and then you disappear and you feel non-centric, you feel non-dual. So instead of fighting the anxiety, instead of trying to use alchemy and change the anxiety, just feel the anxiety. But we're so afraid of our emotions, we're so afraid to feel what we feel. And the only way that we know how to do it is either to push them down, or we go out and clobber someone, because they did this to me. So we try to do something on the outside. But actually working with and feeling our emotions is something we generally quite poor at doing. And when we say that we feel them, what we do is we go in and I feel really angry. We kind of become one with the anger. And that's not what I'm talking about. Then you're actually like just intensifying it most of the time. Because as I was describing, if you have a rope in between and 2 points, and they do like this, you get a standing wave in between. And if one side stops, then it just stops. And eventually there won't be enough energy to keep on going, and then it will just slow down, and then you'll experience non-centricness or non-duality. So, so to Lorenzo's question, we actually do want to lose the third-person viewpoint. We want to just experience reality as it is, without perspectives, as if though everything is just there. And one of the ways that we do this is, of course, to train our minds by some kind of meditation. Lorenzo has been to both Goenka and Mahasi retreats, which are quite, I mean, everything is relative, but the Mahasi tend to be more intensive. Goenka is like 10 hours per day for 10 days. Mahasi tend to be more and for longer periods of time. I used to do 3-month retreats, but I think they have half-year retreats as well, really long retreats. And then this is something that you run into the whole time, and you need to deal with. So Lorenzo, if you watch this later, I hope that made sense. And maybe I explained this twice because I'm not sure what happened to the stream in the beginning. Really good question. Sue, I contacted you. Oh. Did you send me another message? Me, Sue? Yeah, I saw the message. I sent you a reply, Sue. Just before the stream. I'll start that again. Sorry, I might have missed something. If anyone has any, we have time for another question before we do the meditation. My voice is holding up okay. So hopefully we'll go to, oh, nice. So hopefully the throat will last through the meditation as well. But if anyone has any more questions, then I'd be happy to talk about them. I think it's 28 degrees in here, but I've noticed that when I turn the AC on, it gets the air gets cold, and that's when my throat starts getting bad. So I'll just have to sweat. It'll be like Sri Lanka. So I contacted Plum Village. Oh, nice. But sadly, I can't take Harley, my assistant's dog, so I can't go. Yes, I don't think I have ever seen any animals there. Let me just think. No, there's no animals. I've never seen anyone bring a dog that I can think of now. There might have been that I missed it, but I don't think so. And I think the reason is that people are allergic, and also obviously dog poop. And people do a lot of walking in the area. So I can see how they would have an issue with that. Otherwise, that would have been an amazing... If anyone is wondering, what should I do in July, and you happen to live in Europe, near France, I highly recommend you go to Plum Village. Plum Village is an incredible place. I spent 5 summers, I think 5 summers. I spent in Plum Village during the summers, and they have I don't know how it is now actually, because after the pandemic everything changed, but we had I think there was like close to 1,000 people every week who would come, and there's a lot of younger people who come also, so it's like the youth part, and then you have families come, so I could actually go with my family and our kids, and I'm hoping that we can do that in the future. I'm not sure next year. Maybe not, but the year after, then hopefully. because it's an incredible place. There's lots of young kids just running around, and it's such a nice atmosphere. And they have sharing circles, so basically you have 30 people sitting in a ring and just sharing. And you can say whatever you want. No one is allowed to interrupt you. It's just a space for people to talk and say what they want. They spend a lot of time on mindfulness, being present with what you're doing. So if you're working in the garden, cooking food, and you'll cook food for like 500 people if you're in Upper Hamlet. Beautiful place, beautiful times, and I highly recommend it if you can to go there. Hey Stephen, nice to see you as well. I'm sorry to hear you couldn't bring the dog, and I think that is, I think it's always been like that. I have a vague memory. Oh yes, I actually picked up a guy who left his dog at a dog like pension. Dog pension? I'm not sure what you call it. But he left the dog at a dog pension when he went to the Plum Village retreat. And he was there the whole summer. So 4 weeks. Or no, 3 weeks. He wasn't there the first, I think. Nice. If no one has any other questions, then we'll... I was going to say start the meditation early, but I think this is when we normally would start the meditation. It's just been a little bit late lately. If my throat just cracks up, you'll just have to sit a little bit more by yourself. So for those of you who are new, what we normally do is we have a chat in the beginning for a little while, and people can ask questions, and then after that we do the 5, 4, 3, 2, 1 method, which is a way of reconnecting with our senses. The way that we do that is we say out aloud 5 things we can see, 4 things we can feel, 3 things that we can hear, 2 things that we can smell, and 1 thing that we can taste. And the whole idea is to come back to our senses, to not have a relationship with the things we see by pushing against them or pulling towards them, but actually just letting them be there and seeing them as they are. And in Buddhism there's a saying, in the seen is only the seen, in the heard is only the heard. Meaning there is no you going and analyzing or judging the things you're seeing and hearing. We're just practicing with letting them be there. And then after that, we sit for 20 minutes. Today is Monday, so I'll try to keep a guided meditation. If my throat gets too bad, you'll just sit for yourself for 20 minutes. And then after that, everyone goes to sleep and live happily ever after. Hopefully, at least we'll sleep happily tonight. I mean, that's my goal. I just try to sleep tonight, and then I'm happy. So, I'll say 5 things out aloud that I can see, and say them out aloud for yourself wherever you're sitting. It's nice to say them out aloud because it's not, the idea is not just to do them. The idea is to actually notice what you're saying. So the first thing I see is a ruler. Now I could say, oh, I remember this ruler. I think this is the one I got from my father and has a lot of memories to it. Or I could say like, oh, it's dirty here and shouldn't look like this and I have to clean it. But instead, actually this is not the one I got from my father. It says Biltim on it. Instead, I'm trying to really see, okay, look, here it's got all this, there's the metallic, and I can see probably someone's been touching it, very likely me, with fat on their fingers, and that darkens the metal. I can see that something's been glued here, and this looks really interesting. And here's a spot of someone dropping something. There's other stuff here. Lots of scratches, and I can see the reflections. I can see the surface. And when I do this, the light is kind of moving on it. So we're trying to become interested in and enjoying seeing what our senses are showing us. Instead of saying, oh, well, this is cheap crap. I don't want this. It should be cleaner. It should be different. We're trying to really see this as it is, because when you're able to take away the sense of you, experiencing this and just seeing without anyone there to see it, it's not as cryptic as it sounds, then this is beautiful. This is interesting. This is a nice thing to see with your eyes. It's an enjoyable thing to look at. There's so much stuff happening. It's just that we're really crappy at seeing things that way. If you look at children and infants, they're much better at doing that. So hanging around kids can help. So I see a ruler. I see a pair of socks. I see a fire extinguisher. Same thing there, the curvature, the texture, the way it goes around, the way the light hits it. I see the back of my telephone. And I see a door. I see a brick for charging telephones. Beautiful shadows and light. There's like cold light from one side and warm from the other. This creates this really nice duality on it. That was 5 things that I could see. Next we take 4 things that we can feel. Now, I can feel the throat pill that I have in my mouth. Or it's a bit, almost a bit, not acid, but it's kind of tingling on my tongue. I'm trying to not say, oh, I like it, I don't like it, but just see, what does that experience feel like? And try to enjoy the feeling of feeling. I can feel the softness of my cup, and it's warm. It's got something on it here. Very nice. I can feel warm tea running down my throat. Nice. Oh yeah, one more thing. I can feel my leg. I'm wearing shorts. I can actually feel the hair on my leg. It's an interesting experience to feel. We're so used to, oh, I just touched my leg, and we don't actually feel it. But really going into it and feeling the sensation of touching, what does that feel like? There's 4 things I could feel. Next we take 3 things that we can hear. I hear a car passing. I can hear some people laughing. I can hear the computer fan going up and down. Those are 3 things that I could hear. Next we take 2 things we can smell. I can smell my sweat. I can smell strawberry from the throat pill that I'm taking. There's 2 things I could smell. Next we take 1 thing that we can taste. I can taste rooibos tea. for this meditation, we'll use our breath as an anchor, but we're also going to try something a little bit different today. So I want you to start observing your breath. Just start feeling what it feels like to breathe in and breathe out. And we're not looking for specific feelings necessarily. Instead, we're trying to see and be aware of breath happening. It's also worth noting that this is not breath work. We're not trying to make the breath do anything in particular. We're just trying to let breath happen, to feel what that feels like. Now, to make that a little bit easier, we'll count the breath from 1 to 8, and then down again from 8 to 1. And I'll do it together with you once, and then you can continue doing it yourself. After a while, I'll come in again, and we'll start looking for something that we normally don't look for, and we'll see how that works today. So breathing in and out. 1. In and out. 2. In and out. 3. In and out. 4. In and out. 5. In and out. 6. In and out. 7. In and out. 8. In and out. 7. In and out. 6. In and out. 5. In and out. 4. In and out. 3. In and out. 2. In and out. 1. Now keep counting your breath from 1 to 8, and then down again from 8 to 1 as you breathe in and out. 1. In and out. It's easy to get caught up in thoughts or strong distortions, or feel that paying attention to your breath is just too difficult. But the most important thing to do is to be forgiving towards yourself and to just keep coming back. The goal is not to not have interruptions, to not drift away from the counting or from the awareness of the breath. The goal is to catch yourself when you do so, because everyone, no matter how long they meditated, will drift away. And by counting, we make it easier to notice when that happens. It also makes it less likely to happen. But when it does, just come back and just start over again. Be kind to yourself. Start counting your breath as you breathe in and out. 1. In and out. 2. as you continue to observe your breath, you probably notice that there will be sometimes difficult emotions coming up. It might be anxiety, it might be a general feeling of discomfort, or a feeling of, oh, I need to watch the clock to see when this is done, because I'm a bit stressed, I don't want to be here anymore. And I want you to do first two things. First off, I want you to keep your awareness of breath happening. In other words, be aware that you are breathing. We're not looking for a small spot where it's happening, rather it's a general sense of breath is happening. And at the same time, feel if you have any discomforting feelings, such as anxiety, loneliness, anger, resentment, or maybe you have craving, something you really want, longing, something you really miss. Whatever it is that you're feeling, just look at that distortion that's coming up and see that it's not that you are here and something else is giving you that anxiety. Instead, you are within that anxiety. That anxiety is you. That's where the sense of you lives. Now, I'm not talking about what you ultimately are from the perspective of rebirths and whatever you want to call it, if that exists. Instead, I'm just talking about what it feels like to be alive and where the sense of self lives. And that is within the anxiety. So by not being afraid of what you're feeling, by not repressing what you're feeling, by not hiding from it or running away from it, but instead letting it come up and see what's there, you'll see that you are the one who first of all is creating this, and secondly, you are within that feeling. That is you. There's no reason to be afraid of yourself. There's no reason to be afraid of what you're feeling. And I'm not talking about embracing it and becoming one with it. Instead, I'm talking about just moving there and seeing that there is nothing there. When you allow it to happen, it just disappears. And when it just disappears, you will just disappear. This sense of I am here that feels so strong, that feels polar to the things outside of you, will gradually start to loosen up. I want to also say that if it's overwhelming, if it's too much, then don't go deeper than you need to. There's no reason to bring every single difficult thing you've been faced with your life up within this specific meditation or the next few weeks. Instead, take on whatever you can and be happy with that. Don't judge yourself if you find it difficult, but instead allow yourself to feel whatever you're able to feel without overwhelming yourself. I am the anxiety, and that anxiety, that's where I reside. That is me. There's no reason to fight it. It's just a sensation in my body. I don't need to fear it, because I don't need to fear myself. Just allow it to happen and see it disappear. And during all of this, be aware of breath as you're breathing in and breathing out. 1. Breathing in and breathing out. Thank you for that very nice sitting. I'd be happy to hear if anyone had any experience with the moving into the difficult sensation. Thank you, Sue. Nice to have you here. I hope so too. It's been 4 weeks now with this cold. I think it was too cold, so this is just a little bit too long. But if anyone tried and actually move into their anxiety or difficult sensation, I'd be happy to hear what that felt like, because sometimes it can be, it can feel strange to do it because we're so used to moving away from it, to actually allow ourselves to feel what we feel and to not be afraid of ourselves, to not be afraid of our feelings. Can be difficult to do at first. Once it becomes a habit, it's much easier to do. Hey, Lorenzo, thanks. Really beautiful surfer before, but I'm trekking in the mountains, so connection is not. Oh, nice. Happy to hear that. I hope you're having a good time out there. Also, feel free if you want to, Lorenzo. We have a Discord where we do, like we chat, and then we also have once per month a group coaching call. So if you have more questions like this, you can get on and like discuss it more. I'd be happy to do that. I see Nadia said, I found myself still trying to suppress it. It is the suppressing part. It's a shift. You have to overcome it within yourself to see that it's not dangerous, and also the idea that there's no correlation between what's happening outside and what we're feeling inside. I had this for so long because my father was really into, well, if you're not successful, if you're not like doing good with these things, then you can't be happy, because you get happy when you succeed and when you do good stuff. That's when you feel happy. Otherwise, it's just positive nonsense. I'm not talking about positive thinking. I'm talking about breaking that link altogether, that there's no correlation, absolute correlation between outside or even inside and what you're feeling. It just doesn't exist. We've just kind of made that happen. Yeah, check it out. So changing that and seeing that it's just a sensation in our body that's difficult to feel, and that's the reason why I call it distortions and not anxiety, because anxiety, I need to analyze, I need to see where it comes from, I need to understand it, I need to get into it and give it weight and show it that it's like, you don't need to do all that stuff. It's just a sensation in your body. Don't make up this whole story as to why it's so difficult to allow yourself to feel that. Sometimes we need to do that, and people need that story to allow themselves to get rid of it. Nice. I enjoyed it, even though it was a bit less talking, guiding that I was hoping for. But it's getting better. I want to see, Lorenzo. Beautiful how you put you're this feeling, so okay, not being 3 viewpoint, but in a sense you have to remain strong and active and curious, yes, and be overtaken by the thought. Exactly. So the 3 viewpoint, I haven't heard it expressed exactly like you said, but I think that's what you mean. That collapses when you see that you are the anxiety, you are that feeling, and in the same way that feeling is you. It's like they create each other. So when you actually allow yourself to feel it and not push against it, it disappears. I think cats are the best way of seeing this. Yes, don't be overtaken. Cats are beautiful at this. They walk around and they're the laziest, most enjoyable. They just enjoy being there. And then they hear a sound and they go like this. And they're there, like there's tension, there's worry, like what's happening? Oh, it was nothing. Okay. And then they go away and they just start moving and they're relaxed again. We go, oh my goodness, there's something there. And like, okay, it was not there. What if there's going to be something there? Maybe it's going to be something there tomorrow. What about the thing behind us? Oh my goodness. Oh, am I overweight? What's going to happen? And we take all this stuff and we create more of the distortion. JVB, I found that when I don't avoid the uncomfortable things inside me while meditating, I cry. And so it's really crying often is a release. when you stop fighting it, sometimes, not often, like all the time, but sometimes you'll cry. And it's different for some people. I cried a lot during meditation, and it can be a very nice feeling to just not have to hold on to it anymore and just let it out. Okay, I'm going to finish it there. Happy so many joined, and I am sorry for whatever happened in the beginning. I don't know, something with the stream was not working properly, so I'm not sure if the first part even got streamed or not. But at least everyone's here now. So I'll see you again on Thursday. Have a great week and enjoy yourself.